Alright, good afternoon everybody, or good evening I should say. It's about 6 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. Today's topic is going to be getting your driver's license in Korea. It can be quite a complicated process depending on your nationality. And so I'm going to split the videos up. And today's video is for Americans. And I'll start with that. Basically, it's because it's the only one I've done. It's the only one I'm going to do. So I've got the most expertise on that one. I'm getting some information from some friends about the process for other nationalities, just to make sure I've got my facts before I go ahead and say something and put it on the internet. We don't need more false information just to confuse people. I'm actually going to head out of town for this one, mostly because it requires a lot of concentration. There's a lot of facts and things to remember, so let's see if I can think about it while I'm driving. Alright, for Americans, you've got two options. Well, I guess for everyone you've really got two options, but for Americans you got two options. The first one being the international license. And I'm getting some major wind here. Let's shut some of these vents. Alright, there we go. It helps a little bit. Alright, so you've got the international license, the international driver's permit. If you have a license in the US, basically what you can do is through AAA, you can apply for an international permit, which will let you drive in, well, most countries in the world, to be honest. This is good if you plan to be here for under a year. If you plan to be here a year or under, the driver's permit's fine. It'll allow you to drive in Korea for a year. It only costs about maybe 20 bucks. I'm not really sure. I don't actually have one, and so yeah, so I don't know, but I think it's fairly cheap, and it's really easy. They can actually send it to you in the mail. You can apply through the mail, and they'll send it to you in the mail. If you're in Korea and you're watching this, they can still get you an international permit in Korea. I've had a few friends do that, and that'll allow you to drive any car. Yeah, for up to a year. Get insured, no problem. Yeah, so that's not a bad option. But if you want to drive bikes, anything over 125, so anything bigger than the bike I'm driving now, you're gonna have to get a Korean license, and then you'll have to go ahead and upgrade it to a motorcycle license. You cannot have an international permit, even if it has a motorcycle stamp on it. They will only transfer over to a basic license, and then you'll have to take the Korean motorcycle test. Yeah, so that's option number one. Not a bad option if you just want to drive, you just want to get a bike like this. It's cheap, it's quick and easy, it's all in English. Yeah, there's no problem. Option number two, the obvious one, is getting your Korean license. Getting your Korean license is going to be a little different. It's going to be a lot of different. Alright, first off, as of January 1st, 2013, so just a few months ago, it became very difficult for Americans, especially if you're already in Korea. If you're watching this video before you go to Korea, I would say decide now if you want to drive or not, and then go ahead and go through with this, because once you're in Korea, things get much more difficult. Okay, so let's say you're in Korea. You need to get your license apostilled, and Americans all know what that term is. That is, oh, I hate that. Getting anything apostilled just takes forever. But you need to get your license apostilled to certify that it is a US license. And so before, what you would have to do is go to the US Embassy in Seoul and pay them 50 bucks. They take a look at it, give you a piece of paper with a stamp on it, and say, oh, it's a valid license. And just a stupid way to make 50 bucks, but everyone had to do it. And the DMVs would not take it without that piece of paper. Yeah, but as of January 1st, the embassy is not short-staffed. There's nothing keeping them from being able to do it. They have just posted online that we will not be apostilling US licenses for driving in Korea. It's posted right on the website right now. under notarial services, and yeah, it's really a pain in the ass. Luckily for me, I was grandfathered in, so I didn't have to worry about getting the apostille. So yeah, I was very lucky. But I went to help one of my friends get her license recently and realized that everything had changed. So for the Americans now, you have to, if you are in Korea, you have to send your license home, maybe to a friend, to family if you can, or you can send it directly to your state office. Send your license home, and then get it apostilled, and they'll send it back to you. If you can, send it to a relative that maybe can drive it there and get it apostilled, or send it in, have someone do it there. If you have to actually send it to the state and then wait for it to come back, who knows how long it'll take. If you've ever dealt with the US government, you know that things just take forever. And the FBI background check took me like 5 months. Yeah, so that is, in all honesty, the hardest part. So just work out where you have to send your license to, find your state government, wherever you can get it apostilled, get it apostilled. And yeah, so if you can do that before you leave, you'll save yourself a mountain of headaches. Okay, so let's say you've got your license back. You're in Korea now, you have your license, you have your piece of paper that says this is real, whatever that means. And yeah, and so now you want to go get your license. If you're in Seoul, it's a much easier process, just because in Seoul there's so many offices. Outside of Seoul, things get sparse. Here in Jeollanam-do in the southwest, our nearest DMV is about 2 hours away. That's like a quarter of the length of the country. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like there's well over 2-3 million people in this province, and there is one major DMV office. Let me actually correct myself there. There's one major DMV office. There's small DMV offices that have like a driving test or are open like once a month, but they don't have the test in English. They don't have any services in English, and so you have to make sure that the office you're going to has services available in English. Okay, so you find it here. For me, it's Naju. It's a little city just outside of Gwangju, our province capital. Yeah, so you have to go to Naju, or if you're in Seoul, you can go to multiple places. If you're on the East Coast, Busan's got many offices. Yep, so you go to the office, you take, and here's what you take. I'll see if maybe, oh, that was Bubby. If you can take a, I'll make a list here, but you're gonna need to take 11,000 won, so about 10 bucks. You're gonna take 4 passport-size photos. You're going to take your passport, your ARC, your alien registration card, and you'll figure that out once you get here. You'll know exactly what that is. And then your license and your apostille. So yeah, that's what you have to take. Once you go into the office, oh, and also take a Korean. Don't exclude that from the list. Please take a Korean. You'll have to fill out a lot of forms, and they're all going to be in Korean. They're not going to be available in English. And even if you speak decent Korean, just filling out forms in Korean takes forever. I mean, you can just imagine filling out something in an alphabet that is not yours. For me, just to sign my name takes, 20 seconds, whereas in English I can write it in, a second, 2 seconds. Yeah, let me make this guy go around me. So yeah, just filling out my address and everything, it took me forever. So yeah, take a Korean with you, and also things will just be easier. She'll know where to go. She's probably done this before, she or he, sorry. I say she because my teacher is she. Let's go this way. And construction, nah, I don't think they're working right now. Yeah, so take a Korean with you. They will help you through the process immensely. Yeah, so basically you're going to fill out these forms, hand over your license, then you have to go get a physical. And the physical is basically just an eye test. All you have to do is, cover one eye, cover the other eye, A, B, C, D, and boom, you're done. If you wear glasses, or contacts, just let them know if you have contacts. If you have glasses, well, that's sure, that's obvious. Yeah, and so take your eye test, and then after that, you are going to go for an actual test. I think Americans and Canadians both have to do an actual written exam. You don't have to do a driving test, thank God, but you have to do a written exam. It's about 20 questions, sorry. You have 30 seconds a question, and it's all in English. It's broken English, like very broken English. Lots of misspelled words, but I mean, it's not like they're asking very difficult questions. I do remember one question, I'll never forget it. This just gives you an idea of how easy it was. I didn't study at all. To be honest, a lot of the traffic rules are very similar to the US. People don't obey them very often, but the rules are very similar. But yeah, one question was, you approach a crosswalk, pedestrians are crossing the road, what do you do? And it was like, A, slow down, B, honk to let them know that you are approaching, C, speed up, or D, take another route. Like, it's just, some of the questions are so dumb. Yeah, like I'd never studied before and I got like a 95. So don't get very nervous about that. Maybe, to be honest, you don't have to study at all. If you've passed any driving test in the US or Canada, you'll probably be just fine. Alright. Okay, yeah, so once you finish your driving test, or your exam, sorry, your written exam, then you go and get your license. Do note that you hand over your American license. You actually have to hand it over, and they keep it. They give you a Korean one, and they keep your American license. You can, at any point, go back and exchange them back, and they will keep it on file. So if you want to go home, you can go back into the office, say, hey, I need my American license, and they'll give it back to you. Or you can do like I did, and you can just keep your Korean license because it kind of looks pretty cool. And you can, and this is actually a fish truck in front of us. Keep your Korean license and just get a duplicate back home, which is pretty easy. Yeah, and I guess another note on your Korean license, it's valid for 10 years. Yeah, it's valid for 10 years, so I mean that'll cover you for quite a while. And you can use it as an ID here. You don't get ID'd for alcohol here, but you can use it as an ID anywhere you go, so it's good to have a backup for your ARC as well. Yeah, that just about covers it for getting an American license. Just remember that it is that the apostille is not optional, unfortunately. I really wish it was.